This is what I look at when I come outside my front door. I am not ashamed. Trust me, I am not. I've been here over 10 years. This front yard is something I neglected for 10 years. I first started working on my garden about 2 years ago. I rented sod cutters because all the grass that grew close to the house was nothing but dandelions. Dandelion patches the size of your foot. Some may have even been 2 feet tall. I wasn't thinking about pulling up all this. I did. I correct myself. I did used to come out and pull the dandelion from the root, or so I thought. At first I thought that was all I needed to do and they wouldn't come back. But every spring they came back. All the grass close to my house was just dandelions and crabgrass. Weeds that I don't even want to know the name of. Moss. I have red clay soil. There were shrubs close to the house here, and there were shrubs right beneath the porch. They were boxwoods. Well, those boxwoods were halfway dead. Lots of dead branches, lots of browning leaves. My mom came here and cut them down to deer antlers and told me, don't worry, they'll flush out with new growth. And I didn't know that that would really happen, and I didn't give it a chance because I just really didn't know anything about no plants, no shrubs, no flowers. And so I was so upset seeing that for weeks, deer antlers. I'd rather seen the half green, half brown shrubs than to see the deer antlers coming from the ground. I call it deer antlers because she cut them down almost to the trunk, but they had a few branches left. And I was like, me and my boys, I was like, I don't like this look. Let's just get an axe. Yes, an axe. And all 3 of us took turns until we chopped down all the branches, and we even chopped down all the trunks and the roots that was in the ground. We went deep, and they have not come back, so that was one good thing we did. Then I was left with nothing, because like you see this Japanese maple tree and that emerald green giant and this emerald green arborvitae that's in the ground, I did that. I did all that. Now the Japanese maple, I bought it full grown for 75% off. A garden nursery had a landscape. They had a landscape job that went bad, and that landscape job wanted 8 full-grown Japanese maple. Well, that was about over 8 years ago, and I looked up on that deal, and that tree was $150, regularly priced at $800. Mind you, I am speaking of 8 years ago. So this was one tree that I bought and brought home, and that is all that was here up until 2 years ago. That emerald green giant was 2 years ago. This emerald green arborvitae was about 4 years ago. Putting down this landscape fabric, been working on that for 2 years ago, and I have yet to buy landscape fabric for this area because I want the good stuff. I had some cheap stuff, and 2 years ago I added mulch there, Oh, look at that hummingbird. He came so close to me. He was about 2 feet from me. Like he was enjoying what I was saying. But I had mulch here. I chose mulch in these areas. And I chose some cheap landscape fabric from Ollie's. No offense to Ollie's. I was naive. I had no clue. And honey, this is what that weed cloth looked like. Some of it's still here. You see how the weeds have grown through this weed cloth? And you see how and so basically I bought about 80 bags of mulch. And those 80 bags went in all these areas. I thought I was doing something. I thought I was a landscape designer. I had mulch here. Now you see it's replaced with pebbles and I had mulch here. I had mulch all in this dining area. All in this area was just mulch. Those 80 bags of mulch. I pulled all that mulch up last winter. When I'm telling you, I was out here in coats and gloves and hats because that's the best time to do a project like that. I had all that mulch pulled up in some nursery pots, and I ended up recycling it underneath my no-dig fence. And I got as much as I could. As you can see, some of the mulch is still there. And the mulch was very smelly when I used to come out the house. The mulch smelled so bad. I guess over the winter with the ice and the rain and the thunderstorms, the mulch at the bottom layer was just probably still wet and never would dry out. And being during the winter season we have in Zone 9, that could be probably 5 months before you see some sun that could dry mulch, dry at least 2-3 inches of mulch. So with that mulch being wet for 5 months, it was really smelly. Really, really, really smelly. So I redesigned my front yard courtyard. And set down this paver patio. It is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is probably a 8 by 5. I got this pergola swing from Big Lots 90% off last year. My sons came home and put it together. And let me step back and show you guys what that looks like. And then I started thinking about how I wanted to edge my flower beds or my courtyards. I knew I didn't want to get the metal edging. I didn't want plastic edging. I wanted something that would last, something that I wouldn't change my mind about. So I went with these charcoal retaining wall bricks and started designing this area. I chose this red charcoal because it kind of matches the color of my house. So then I went on to design this area with nothing in mind, just a pebble riverbed, dry riverbed. And I also extended the front yard courtyard to this area because I was fortunate enough to buy 2 of these swings at the 90% sale. So then I said, instead of I tried to sell one on Facebook Marketplace. No one wanted to buy it. So after no one wanted to buy it, I said, why not use it? So I have a swing there and I have a pergola swing here. 90% off, mind you. And so I mapped out this flower bed. And instead of me doing a flower bed, I just made it a seating area. So from this pergola swing, you can see my crepe myrtle flower bed, and from that pergola swing, you can pretty much see the entire front yard. I have a lot going on, tell me. I know. I'm all over the place, but that's okay. They say a garden is never finished, but I tell you what, once I get the flagstones and pebbles, that will definitely be a large milestone that I have accomplished. I can't wait to step out of my front door and see this landscape fabric covered. It's been open just like this for 2 years. And this is some good landscape fabric. When we get huge thunderstorms or rain, there's no water pooling here. And that's why I want the good landscape fabric. This landscape fabric costs you about $70 a roll. And I used it in this area, that area, and this area. Then I ran out. But I'm going to get me another roll, and as you can see it right here, that's a little piece I had left, and I think it will finish all this, and then I can work on picking out my flagstone pavers. I really am indecisive about 2 different colors. They have a Mojave Desert, and they also have a similar color that's close to the Mojave Desert, if you want to look that up. But I want to match these pebbles because I'm going to put these river pebbles in between the flagstones. And then I'll be able to bring out my outdoor dining table and these are the chairs I'm going to use for my outdoor dining area. These chairs I also got for Big Lots during the 90% off clearance. All 6 was $60. I got that from the 90% off sale. So during this 2-year install, my mind was working on plants, trees, shrubs, annuals, perennials, river pebbles, flagstone, front yard fence, retaining wall brick, design layout, landscape fabric, going from mulch to now all river pebbles and flagstones. But I'm going to continue to have mulch in that flower bed and that flower bed. In the front of my fence, I have river pebbles and mulch on the outside of it, the way I've designed that. But when I tell you, when you see a plant, most people will be like, why didn't you just work on one thing at a time and get that done? Because when you're shopping at Lowe's and other garden centers in between, you're shopping at Home Goods and Hobby Lobby, you're shopping at Ross, when you see something like this, my little dog, and I have a frog, and I have a turtle, and I have a fish. When you see something like that, you have to go ahead and get it because it's not going to be there. These retaining wall bricks are going to be at Lowe's forever. There goes my turtle. Here goes my little smile fish. It's Mexican pottery. And I got into it. Every time I would go to Home Goods or Hobby Lobby, here I am seeing this pottery. And I had to have it. That set me back, of course. I even have a gecko and a little foot broke off of it. So, and I even have some pots as well. So, in my Mexican pottery collection, I have a gecko, some may call it. I have this fish. I have 2 smaller fishes. I have the turtle. I have the whimsical dog. He is so cute. And I have 2 pots with the trailing purple heart gray vines. You can't really see that one. The frog. And I have 2 more Mexican potteries for my begonias in this area. So I didn't get them all at once, but when I saw a pair, or I saw this dog, or that frog, and that fish, it was coming home with me. And then I go to garden nurseries and I see things like these Euro cypress. You have to get it, because people with established garden that just adding something every year, which is what you're going to do, because we're going to make room for it. That's why we start at the front yard, and then we end up having beside the house, we call it an alley garden, and then we have a backyard garden, and then we start decorating our porch, and then we start bringing in indoor plants, and then we start putting plants on the deck. Then we start putting plants under the window. We get window boxes. Trust me, I don't have any window boxes right now. I'm not even working in the backyard right now. I don't even have flowers on my front porch, and I don't have indoor flowers. But trust me, the rate I'm going, I know it's going to get there. I'm going to move this angel trumpet to the shade, because we're getting some yellow leaves. I'm sorry. We're getting some yellow leaves. Probably because get some insect bitten leaves too. Probably because it's getting so much sun, and it needs to be in the ground. That's another reason why. But anyway, we're getting off track. That is the reason why this isn't done. And my no-dig fence was also put in 2 years ago. That stopped me from getting my flagstone pebbles and completing this area. But I have some huge accomplishments. I could pat myself on the back. This area from the porch, although it's crowded now, as far as the river pebbles, landscape fabric, and design, that's done. The coleus are just there because that's the only shade place I have for them right now. This area and all this is one area. These went in the ground about 2 years ago, and I think they're called the, they stay round. I think they're called the, I'm not sure what they call, but they're arborvitae, and they stay small. And then this area is done. This design area is done. I even have some little seashells down there. You see that? So I have completed this area with the design layout that I'm very satisfied with. This area design layout I'm satisfied with. And this area design layout I am satisfied with. You just have to see through the clutter. Where you see that blue tarp, that is, I did have a piece of faux grass that big. I didn't like that faux grass, so I moved it, and I'm just going to finish it off with pebbles. Or I may put a few flagstones up under there and fill it in with pebbles. That area is done. So the only area I have left with pebbles and flagstone is this very large area here. I have yet to finish that design layout. I moved that garden, that arch, it was here. This pergola I was using as a carport awning. But none of our cars really fit completely under it. And that is where I put it together at. But about a week ago, my son and I pretty much moved 2 of those fence panels, and we dragged it here to this area. And this is where I have long awaited it to be. As you can see, the sun it doesn't, it's how the sun falls during the day. At one point, this entire area would be shaded with this pergola, but some hours of the day it's not. It's half shade, half sun. That tree, this evergreen arborvitae, gives me a little shade. I'll probably put some potted hostas up under it once I get my pebbles done. But my plan is to stop buying plants, stop buying Mexican pottery, and get these pavers and pebbles down to complete this area, because I'm sure my family is tired of looking at it. I myself see it as a work in progress. I myself know why it hasn't been done, because of my budget. Even though I would splurge and buy the Mexican pottery or buy some little small, like these Euro cypress, they was $13 a piece. This angel trumpet was $20. Those 4 Dracaena plants was on clearance at Lowe's for $30. All 4 was in one pot, and I split them and made 4 plants. That was $30. So when I splurge and get off track, it's really not nothing major. These pebbles and flagstone, I'm thinking my budget will probably be under $1,200 to complete this area, because I pretty much want 1 pallet of flagstone, and I may need 2 pallets of river pebbles, and I'm sure that would be more than enough. But and if I have any river pebbles left, I can also use it as a top mulch for all my planters. But that's just an update on what's going on in my garden and my design layout, and I can't wait to show you guys. Look at how the wind is blowing on this angel trumpet. This is a huge flower if you have an angel trumpet. I love this. It's just beautiful. Can't wait till I found out where I'm going to put it, as well as these Euro cypress too. Well, thanks for watching, and wish me luck, and wish me to continue to work on this area and get it finished. I'm hoping to do it before Christmas, and we could come out the front porch and sit and enjoy the weather, enjoy a fire pit, and roast marshmallows, because I'm a front yard person. I really don't do a lot in my backyard. I don't have a deck yet. I don't have any flower beds back there. That's where we do a lot of our parking. So ever since I put in the front yard fence, we used to park on the front grass. That's how much we really didn't care about having a garden or grass. But and once I do this, I will work on my grass. I would love some hospital grass. We call it that because it's just the greenest, softest turf. Looks artificial, but it's not. But that's a whole nother story. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe and please support my channel. I will leave you with a beautiful look. No matter how cluttered, no matter how unfinished, I have some joys that I could come out and look at in my garden. I take care of my plants. I water. I fertilize with Hollytone and Ironite. I prune. If I see something, I treat it for insects. I mainly use organic. I use neem oil. I use organic insecticide soap. I use Captain Jack's dead bug. Look at I always, no matter how cluttered it is, I just try not to see it. I always try to have beautiful plants, so it will complement this beautiful vision that I have. Thank you guys for watching.